Hi everyone and welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of Reputation Rebuild at Aberdeen with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, technical difficulties last time I tried to record this particular episode. I had recorded one. It didn't save properly in the file type that it should have. It then corrupted itself and so I lost an episode. So I have played the Rangers game we were supposed to come back for. Spoiler alert, we kind of lost it. But anyway, we're back for the following game against Hibernian today in the Scottish Premiership. So let's see if we can do a better job today. So yes, many apologies that we're not back for the Rangers game. I really don't know how it all happened the last time I tried to record this series, but it didn't go well at all and eventually left it with me with corrupted files. So one of those things that we'll have to get over, unfortunately, for today. But anyway, we're back in to play Hibernian. Let's go and check out the fixtures and show you that we did indeed play the Rangers game and got a bit of a pasting, to be honest. It was a little bit of a humbling, really. After a really good run of form, other than that one Rangers game previously to this as well, where we lost to them. It's just one of those things, isn't it, really? But they are a tricky nut to crack, unfortunately, and we haven't really managed it so far. So all of that means that for today's match against Hibernian, what we're looking for, really, in terms of league position, if we go and have a look at the Scottish Premiership, is that you'll see that we're still a couple of games behind Celtic and one behind Rangers in terms of ahead of them, and what we've already played. And the gap is there a little bit, 3-point gap between us and Celtic, which is a little bit disappointing now because they've got the chance to potentially take that up to 9 points. And similarly with Rangers, they're currently 5 points clear of us, could take that up to 8 with the game in hand that they've got. And we do have to play a double header against Celtic later in the season. We will talk about that at the end of this particular episode. But what we're trying to do more than anything is to continue to open this gap between us and fourth place. We are a really good position. We've played 2 games less than Hibs. If we can beat them today, we'll take it to a 13-point gap. And I think that's absolutely done and dusted in terms of what the teams below us can then do to us this season. And it just becomes, again, about trying to claw anything back on Celtic and Rangers that we can. But even at this point, if this is how it ends this season with a bit of a gap to Rangers and Celtic, it's better than it was last season, isn't it? So not too bad. Overall, the club is doing pretty well. Excuse me. We've got a reasonable amount in the bank, just nearly £5 million. Obviously, the wage and the transfer budgets have both been decimated by what we've done this season, so there's not much wriggle room there. In the summer, it'll be interesting to see what we get. It suggests that at the moment, we're going to get a guaranteed budget of £656,000 to buy players with next season. This is not good enough, is it, really? We need to up that. So hopefully, with a little bit of prize money, we can boost the coppers in the overall balance, and that will have an impact on the transfer budget. But yeah, we're never going to be really super rich here unless we spend a lot of time deep diving into that over a number of seasons, are we? But there we go. We'll see what we can do in the summer. But for today's game against Hibs, it's going to be tricky. 4th position. We are at... are we at home? No, we're away from home today, so that's going to be a tricky game as well. So, fingers crossed, everybody. We might need it, but it's all good, isn't it, really? So in terms of personnel for today's match, we're doing pretty well, actually. Everybody's in good condition, considering it's early March. We've got everybody pretty much fit and healthy. We've been able to rotate the squad enough to keep that that way. The one player that comes out of the bench today is Devlin, just because you can see his conditioning here isn't quite as high as everybody else's, so there's not much point in risking him when we've got another central defender that we can put on the bench. The similar position for McCrory, who is going to play just because it's our most direct rivals in Hibs. Once we get past this game, there'll be a run of games where I will be resting him a little bit for the run-in, basically, so he's a little bit fitter and healthier for that. But he should be fine today, and if not, we've got plenty on the bench to be able to change that as the game goes on. So pretty much a full-strength squad. So we've gone for Lewis in goal, Hernandez at right back, Demir at left back, Simpson and Finlay in central defence, McCrory, Ferguson and Vertonen in central midfield, Hedges on the right, Middleton on the left and Nisbet up top, with a bench of Considine, Logan, McGeoch, Campbell, McLennan, Ross and Delap. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. After the Rangers game, I felt it needed just to get them into a more more focused and motivated spot. So I've told them today I expect a much better performance from them. It wasn't good enough against Rangers. We did kind of roll over a little bit, although obviously Rangers are just very, very hard to play, aren't they, in most circumstances in the Scottish Premiership, unless you're Celtic, basically. But yeah, today I'm hoping for much better. We're away from home. I do expect that they will dominate a few aspects of this particular match. But if we can get a couple of chances, I think Nisbet and Delap are both on decent scoring terms these days. I forgot to show you that before we started, but they are getting some goals. I think Nisbet now got about 17 in about 25 matches or something, and Delap, against easier opponents, it must be said, he plays these slightly easier games, he's doing pretty well. He's got like 15 in 18 or something like that. So rotating those two in and out is doing pretty well. Middleton has a great strike, wasn't it, on the left foot, and he hits it smack against the crossbar and it rebounds and they get it clear. But that was a good sighter. And now we have a potential injury issue. Well, it's not potential. It is an injury issue for Ronald Hernandez. He's got an upper body injury. Okay, that's going to be interesting to find out what that's all about in a little while. Fortunately, we've got our previous first choice right back on the bench, an ageing, must be said, Shay Logan, but still can come in and do a job for us for the remainder of this season before we probably move him on, to be honest. There's a couple of 34-year-olds in the squad that we need to now move on and just freshen up the squad a little bit for the third season. That's a great ball in. Nisbet hits the woodwork again. This time the posters, the right-hand posters, he was looking at it. Middleton with the corner. They get it partially cleared. Who's going to win the loose ball? Finlay gets back pretty quickly, but he doesn't quite get there first. And then he brings the player down. And what's happening here? It's a yellow card. So he's going to have to be a bit careful now moving forward for the rest of the game. It's not quite sort of fallen in our favour so far, has it really? An injury to Hernandez, a yellow card to Finlay, and a couple of times that we've now hit the woodwork. You can see that as we approach half-time, we have actually competed very, very well. We've had 56% of the possession, 91% pass completion, which is fantastic. I love that stat. An XG of 1.06. So you see those two woodwork shots, they've really upped the XG. They should have potentially been on target and in the back of the net. But we are doing pretty well. So we're going to go in and be fairly positive. Let's pump the fists and say, yeah, let's go with, we're not doing badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. I believe that. Because so far we have been the better side. I do genuinely think that. So we'll come back out into the second half and we might even change up to attacking just for a while and fire them up just to see if we can get something from them in the early stages of this second half and just see what we can do. I think Hibs have been a bit lucky, should I say, so far. They're playing quite a defensive back three. So, you know, that's why we've been able to get at them. Not another injury. And it's to the other fullback. And we don't have the other fullback backup on our bench. Finlay can kind of play it. Let's go and check him out before we actually make that decision. He sort of can play it, but we're playing quite a defensive defensive fullback anyway, I think, on support. So he should do that. If we switch him round and then we move Considine into the back line, and we're going to change him up a little bit, and we're just going to make him defend, I think. I think we're actually going to even make it into a no-nonsense defender, because that's where he will work best. Just keep him there in that fullback position to secure things and not venture forward too much. That's another unfortunate one, though, to have both fullbacks go. It means that if either one of them or both of them are long-term, we could be struggling a little bit, because our backup is okay, but it's not magnificent, to be honest. It would be a dip in form. Middleton with a good ball in again to that far post. Considine, the substitute, eventually gets the header in, but puts it over the top of the bar. We're going to pause the game there. We've got one more change that we can make in this particular match, having been forced to change a couple of things. And what we're going to do, I think we're going to take Nisbet off. Now, there's some issues further back in midfield as well, but I think we are. I think we're going to try and see if we can take Nisbet off, put Delap on, and get him an opportunity or two, and see whether he can avoid hitting the woodwork and put it into the back of the net. And for the last 15 minutes, we'll go back into the shouts, demand more again for the entire team, just to see if we can get them moving forward one more time. Come on. There has to be a chance in here somewhere, surely. We can't just drift away. It's drifting away. That's a real shame. 5 minutes of added time. We're into 3 of them. Oh, well, it looks like we're going to get a draw, which in the big scheme of things, looking over our shoulder is not too bad, because it doesn't encroach them onto us at all in terms of points. But look at these statistics for the match. 12 shots at goal, 4 on target, 5 and 1 for them. So we outdid them on that. The XG rating is all in our favour. Those 2 woodwork shots really help for that. Almost 90% on the pass completion, which I'm really happy about. Possession is up to 56%, which is good. But we've got those 2 injuries to worry about, and we didn't quite win the 3 points. Is it going to be a really bad day if one or both of those are out long term? Let's go and find out. So let's start here before we figure out what's happening next episode, and just see that Celtic and Rangers both comfortably won, unfortunately. So that gap does start to elongate, which is very disappointing, but that's the way it is when you drop points like we did today. The other thing that we can look at then is the 2 injuries, and both of them actually are out for the same period of time, for 3 weeks. And Hernandez has got a back strain, and Demir has got a pulled calf muscle, so they'll be out for 3 weeks, unfortunately. So that's going to be the bulk of the run-in of this part of the season. Remember, it does split off for a further half dozen games or something, 5 games after this point in the league. So let's go back into the schedule. And what we've got coming up is basically the run-in for this part. And we are going to come back and play that second Celtic match. Because they're identical games, both away from home, both against Celtic, I'm not going to come back and play both of them on the episode. I'm just going to come back and play the second. I'll catch you up on everything that's happened before that as well next episode. And then we will figure out after that point, going into the final few games of the season, after Dunfermline, as I say, there'll be another 5 games added because of how the league splits off. And we'll probably play either Rangers or Celtic again in that period. So that's the next couple of episodes. Hopefully this is all recorded well and I can get it out today. Thank you for viewing today. I really, really appreciate it. If you were there in my first live stream on Twitch yesterday, thank you for being there. I'm so appreciative of that. It didn't quite go as well as I'd like it to in terms of some technical issues, but I'll get the hang of streaming, and those technical issues one by one we'll try and eliminate. But I'll be there every day, remember from 3 till 5 p.m. live on Twitch every weekday from Monday to Friday. So come and find me there, UK time, and we'll have some fun, hopefully. Until then, though, this is going to be it for today's episode of Aberdeen. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. You'll find out lots more about what's going on in my Discord and my Twitter account. Come and check out my Patreon as well. If you haven't gone over to Twitch and followed me over there, go and do that. There's lots to do. Click a like button on this particular episode. That would be great. Until next time, though, be it on Twitch or here on YouTube, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.